Hello and welcome to our first session to kick off our 10-week program. So to start week one, we're going to be in the gym working on our muscular endurance and our mobility. So how we're going to go about achieving that is you'll see there 6 different exercises. The key there is the rep ranges we'll be using, so the 8 to 10 or the 30 seconds for the 2 core exercises. And then the tempo we'll be using. So I'll explain that as we go through the exercise demos. So as we've alluded to, the first program, this isn't supposed to be really challenging. I want you to really focus on execution of your technique, and doing that well in a way shouldn't give you a challenge. But yeah, more about that concentration, doing things really well at this point. And then over the course of the 10 weeks, we'll be adding some load and more difficult exercises to the program. So kicking things off, we've got a goblet squat here, and Tash has been kind enough to be the model for a few of our exercises. So a couple of keys here as we're watching Tash execute the goblet squat is we're trying to keep weight even across feet, so between left and right and front to back, so heels through the ball of the feet. So we've got a nice firm contact with the ground. We're trying to stick that chest out as we hold that dumbbell and perform the movement. And we're moving down as if we're sitting on the chair. So you can see Tash here, 3 seconds down, a little bit quick there, but it's a 3-second drop with a 1-second pause at the bottom. So we'll go again, 3 second, 1 second, stand up in 1 second. So 1, 2, 3, pause, stand up. Right? So 8 to 10 reps. If you have some weight at home, feel free to use it, but I recommend going body weight first. If you can do 10 comfortably, then maybe grabbing a small weight like 5 kilos. Again, if you can do 10 on your second set, then and feel pretty comfortable, then maybe you go slightly heavier. But if you can't get up to 8 reps, then it's too challenging. You need to modify that. Up next, we've got our bench press. So I think a lot of you will be familiar with this one. So here, again, Tash is going to demo it. You'll notice as she's performing the bench press, she's drawing her elbows down and out. So they sort of out on that 45 away from her trunk. You should feel a bit of a stretch through your chest as you do that. And then as you bring them back up, pushing those weights back together. So again, 3 times 8 to 10 reps. And it's that 1, 2, 3, pause, drive back up. Right? So that tempo really allows us to concentrate on that technique, do it really well, make sure we're using the right muscles to execute the movement. If you don't have a bench or dumbbells, then I have just given the push-up alternative here. So here I am. So you see I'll set up, so hands in that similar position to the bench. Obviously now I'm just face down at the floor. See my upper arm 45 degrees roughly off my trunk. Control down, so it's 1, 2, 3, pause. Push those hands away to drive back up. So pushing into the floor. If that's too challenging, you can't get to 8 reps, then feel free to either start on your knees or maybe drop down to your knees as you're going. The upper body stays exactly the same as you're doing that. Next, the RDL. So probably the most challenging in the program to get right. So if you're doing this body weight or with a lightweight, I think Tash has got the 10 kilos there. It's not heavy by any means, but the movement to get this right is challenging, and it's really important for later things to come in. So if we're going to load this up, or we're going to get into some deadlifting, even some of our Olympic lifting progressions, if you can RDL really well, then it sets you up well for anything else to come down the track. So again, Tash will have her weight even across her feet. She's going to really concentrate on sticking that chest out, and she's got to really work hard to keep pushing that bum back, right, as you look down at the floor. So if you've got really tight hamstrings, you won't actually get that low, and that's fine. You'll progress over time. So it's 1, 2, 3, little pause at the bottom, pushing through the floor to stand back up. Right there, so you can see that's Tasha's doing a great job there. A common mistake is that rounding of the back. You can see, go again. So here's the alternative. And this does a really good job of showing what I'm talking about there. So what Tash has got there is a dowel rod down her back. And what we're looking for here is it's much the same as what we just had, but you're trying to keep the dowel in contact between the shoulder blades and the top of your butt. So the soft knees. So you watch hips come back. And what we see here is that rod starts to come away from the top of your butt if you start to arch your back. So for a lot of us, we'll really feel this through our hamstrings, and that's what you should feel. So that's that one. So again, 3 times 8 to 10 reps, same tempo. So the 3 second, 1 second pause, 1 second rise back up. Single arm supported row. So if you've got something you can hold on to, whether it's a dumbbell, whether it's a weight plate, whether it's something at home that obviously can give you the right amount of load, what you're going to do here is set up in that split stance, front hand as the same as that front leg on the bench. You're going to just really brace through that core, pull that elbow back. So we're going to pull back here, hold for a second, control back down over 3. Right, so 8 to 10 reps each side. So same principle. If you can get to 10 and it's really comfortable, then and you can do it with really good execution, then you can try something slightly heavier on that next set. Sorry. But if you're struggling to hold form or get to that 8 reps, then you're either a bit lighter or your weight is about right. Pretty common one, the plank, but just a couple of key points here. So we're going for 30 seconds and we'll repeat that 3 times. What Tasha's going to do here is do a great job of setting up her body in a nice straight line. You'll see she does a little tuck under. So imagine your belt buckle. You got to try and tuck under, bring it towards your chin. And then she's really active through this. So what she's doing here is she's actually really trying to pull her elbows back towards her feet. And if you do that whole time, you're almost trying to shorten through the front of your body, through your core, and that'll make that, that'll help that brace, and it'll stop any of that sort of sagging of your hips or arching of your lower back. So yeah, 30-second timer, and then have a breather, probably for about 30 seconds and repeat. Dead bug's another pretty common one. We're just going to start just body weight here, just a nice slow pace, doing 30 seconds. So you're just alternating both sides. So you'll see me demo this. You can see I'm setting my core there. So again, tucking the belt buckle towards your chin. And then from there, a good indicator that you're doing it well is keeping that lower back pressed on the floor. So if you feel that your lower back's lifting off, then you're probably losing a little bit of that stability through your core. So here it's just, if my right leg goes out, my left arm goes overhead, and you're just alternating. Some people get this straight away, others struggle a little bit. So just setting there, opposite arm and leg. So pretty punchy workout. There's your 6 exercises. Like I said, it's designed not to be really challenging first up. Things will progress, but if you haven't done a lot of gym, then I think just the execution and that concentration with the 8 to 10 reps and that 3-1-1 tempo will add enough of a challenge for you. And then for those that are familiar with the gym and have some weights available, then you should have an idea of the weights you'd use, and that'll be the challenge for you, is getting that weight right, and then just sticking to those rep ranges as much as you can. And I'm sure you'll feel a little bit of burn in the muscles that should be working, but make sure you've got a few reps in the tank by the time you finish each set. Any dramas, please comment away on any of the social media channels you're following along. Otherwise, good luck and enjoy.